days I just sit and think back. Remember when you were a kid? Man, what happened to that shit? Life was so simple. See, I remember as a kid, I just did what I did. I never really cared a bit about the path that I picked. There was a time in the 90s where you could probably find me blazing at the park, spray painting and rhyming. I remember when skateboards had brakes on the back. Remember fanny packs, now that's taking it back. I remember renting VHS films for a date. The little car by the TV, rewinding all the tapes. Reminded of the lake back when you could still swim in it without getting a rash from the trash that dumped into it. Penny candy really used to cost 1 cent, and you could buy firecrackers everywhere that you went. Do you remember as a kid before Afghanistan was framed? You could go inside the cockpit when you were on the plane. What happened to the days when we trusted each other? If you ask me, the old ways must be recovered. So throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking. Throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking. I remember days before every store had a camera, watching you grabbing chocolates and popping them in your pockets. The coppers would never stop us when we're walking up the block, cause we was just a bunch of kids on our way to go play soccer. Nah, we brought a ball to help us cover up the fact that we were there to blaze a new graffiti, skipping every class, skateboarding on the court before the first ramps were built, laying in the grass carefree, angles on the hill, sitting outside the beer and liquor stores as a kid, talking to the customers when they were on their way in, asking them to grab a bottle if I gave them the cash. It never really took too long if you knew how to ask right. There used to be a million payphones around. Nowadays in every town there's very few to be found, so everybody's got a cell. What the hell is a landline? Dial-up modems as well, I couldn't stand. So throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking. Throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking. Toys have come a long way, boys, remember the days when we played with all the latest, greatest video games. From Atari to Nintendo, all the way to Sega Genesis, charging through the levels on your way to slay the nemesis. Back when you could buy a pack of smokes with a note that your parents wrote, take it to the store and there you go. Back before GPS, we had to use maps, and the worst part was folding them and putting them back. We didn't have iTunes or iPhones. You made a mixtape and you'd play it for the whole ride though. Back then, if you got bored before you made it home, relax, there was good tunes on the radio. I guess I miss when it was simple. It's a virtual world. Remember Virtual Boy? Now there's virtual girls. Everybody's got a screen name and everyone's a user. Everything is stuck on replay, especially you. So just throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking. Throw your hands up if you remember Walkmans, or if your CDs would skip while you were walking. Or try thinking way back and remember 8 tracks and before rap was just a bunch of talking.